But you know who speaks up on behalf of the American people? One of the few people in media that's been doing it right now. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of conservative podcasts and stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's the media that doesn't want to sit there and address real issues and call out stuff. Well, you got Scott Jennings here. Our boy on CNN is coming out and just laying down the law each and every day. We love the man. He's doing a service to this country. Scott Jennings.
Let me give you the political reality that we're in right now in October.
Sure.
Huge majority of the American people believe and know that we have an illegal immigration crisis in this country. Kamala Harris got asked 3 times on national television tonight if it was wrong to change the executive orders the way they did on day one that allowed this huge flood of people to come in. She would not address it because she knows how politically damaging it is. There are people all over this country in every political party, and independents too, who know full well that if she becomes the president, we're going to have a permissive immigration structure, even more permissive than we had under Biden. And they believe Donald Trump will crack down on this and that he has a common sense viewpoint that, hey, maybe we don't want violent people in here. No, they don't go down the list and say rapist in, rapist in. They just go down the list and say in. Why don't we know if they've been convicted of a crime in another country? It's broken. He will crack down on it. She will not. And everyone
Scott,
knows
you
it.
just
Let me give you the political.
And, you know, CNN, I mean, it's remarkable. They're going to sit there and, well, that's not true. How do you know that? Based on her record, she's a knucklehead. She don't have a clue. She can't answer basic questions. Don't get me going, Patriots. Don't get me going. It drives me up a wall. And I know it does with all of you. Trust me, I'm reading the chat. I see y'all in there. You're losing your minds. And rightfully so, because this affects you guys. This whole election affects everybody, which is kind of weird, right? If you think about it, based on the structure of our country, it is weird that we're going into an election where we feel that a president of the United States is going to affect us on an individual and personal level. Why do I say that? The president really doesn't have all that much power. It's part of the federal government, right? The people that you should be most worried about and most concerned with is your mayor, right? Those in your locality first, and then your state. Those are the people who have the most impact on all of you. But we're all sitting back being affected by somebody that's in Washington that doesn't have their head on straight and has their head so far up there, you know what, that they haven't seen daylight in years. And it's actually affecting us because you're having all these people pour across the border that are dipping into our social programs and siphoning from it. And it's affecting people so that when there's a natural disaster or Americans in need, regardless of whether you're Democrat, Independent, Republican, Conservative, part of the Green Party, it doesn't matter. And you need those funds so that you can take care of your family because you paid into said system. And now you can't get the funds, but you get $750 from the federal government, meaning Kamala Harris because she's an idiot. You know, well, now it just all goes down the pooper. Now it all goes down the pooper. Well, speaking of going down the pooper, we got Springfield coming back. Remember, they're eating cats and dogs was what was being said. Well, now the temp agency is profiting from Haitian labor in Springfield, and they're encouraging migration. I don't think anybody's against immigration. I'm sure there are, right? I'm sure they are. When I say nobody, I just mean in general, Americans are for immigration because we could sit there and take the best and brightest from other people's countries and put them in our country and we could thrive, baby, thrive. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then we really make the American dream something that no other country can do or say that they do or whatever. So I think we're all for immigration. We're a country of immigrants. My father immigrated here legally, by the way. So we're all for it. We're not for people breaking the law. We're law-abiding citizens for the most part. I think we all screw up every now and then. Maybe we speed over 65 because that's an argument the Democrats say. Oh, well, isn't it a crime to sit there and drive 66 miles an hour when it's 65? It's the way these people think, man. It's the way they think. A Springfield, Ohio temp agency that profits off migrant labor is encouraging Haitian migration to the small Rust Belt city. Oh, I'm sure the locals love this. First Diversity Staffing supplies Haitian labor to companies in the surrounding area, including Amazon, Dole. So these are just big corporations. Automotive parts manufacturer. The company even provides transportation to the migrants, shuttling them to and from the company's corporate clients. But the Daily Wire review shows that the First Diversity is doing more than recruiting Haitian migrants. What could they be doing in Springfield here? The company appears to be actively recruiting Haitian labor from other parts of the United States and bringing them in. What? Oh, do you speak these languages? Do you enjoy helping people? Would you happen to be an illegal immigrant? Just kidding. Would you happen to help your community? Well, join us at First Diversity. I mean, doesn't that name say everything you need to know about this organization right there? Like, wouldn't your priority be to help Americans? Shouldn't that be where our value set is at? No longer is that the case for Democrats. I mention this every single day, and I know you all know it. You mention it too, probably to your friends and family. We are second-class citizens in our own country. You have Americans that will put everybody else in front of you. Like, are we even a family anymore? Are we even brothers and sisters? Do you know what I mean? If you read my book, Trojan Horse, that's how I relate America, by the way. I talk about America where lately we've been fighting, right? Democrats and Republicans. We've been headbutting. The analogy that I use is talk about a family in my book, Trojan Horse. If you're not aware of it, we do have an entire book. Might as well plug it. I wrote it. It's fun. I love it. Some of you read it multiple times. I really appreciate that. And if you do buy it, leave a nice 5-star review on Amazon. I talk about us being a family. And the way I correlate it is when you have brothers and sisters, you guys fight with one another. I know I did. But that doesn't mean that when there's somebody that goes against your sister or your brother out there outside the home, well, all of a sudden, screw you guys fighting against one another. Now you're brothers and sisters in arms, baby. And you're going after that person that's messing with your family. Lately, because we have no common enemy anymore, it used to be communism, right? It might have been the Nazis, right? The Japanese back in the day. We don't have a common enemy. You think it'd be terrorism. But that's gone out the window with Democrats. So we've been fighting with ourselves. And then what I would imagine would happen, and I could be wrong here now at this point, is that when somebody actually F's around and finds out with America, you would think that we would band together. Right now, there's really never been a point in our history, I'm sure you could find one, but in this type of scale, where a party wants to sit there and support other people before actual Americans. Like, we've always taken care of our people first, and then if we had something left over, we would take care of everybody else. And by the way, it's biblical. If you don't have clothes, you can't go clothe people. If you don't have money to donate, you can't donate money. We need to sit there and get our ish together so that we can help other people that are suffering. But you need to help the suffering here first. Stop sending these countries billions of dollars. Figure it out here first. Take care of our family of Americans, Democrats and Republicans. Take care of one another. And then once we have our bleep in a line, let's go ahead and help everybody else. And you do that on an individual level. You do it on an individual level. You have to live like no one else to be able to live like no one else. It's a Dave Ramsey phrase. You need to save up so that you can become wealthy one day. And so not only can you help yourself, and you did for a lot of decades, but then at the end of the term, in the end of those steps, and you've accumulated wealth, now you can go help the needy. You can help the veterans, which is my end goal one day. I would love to create an organization and have enough money to where we could help these guys on the streets. We can get these guys off the streets, clean it up, get them a nice hotel room, get them a hot meal, some nice clothes, you know what I mean? Get their stuff figured out. Get them if they got stuff going on. They got stuff going on upstairs, and rightfully so. We got to get them help. I mean, I'm not a veteran, by the way. I've never served. A lot of people kind of think because the way I look that I might have. No. But because I didn't serve, I want to help. But I don't have the means, but I want to get there. Democrats want to sit there and leave everybody out to dry, and we're seeing that right now with the hurricane. We're seeing it point blank. It's in broad daylight. It's smacking us in the face.